Attention Austin musicians and music industry professionals. Are you having a difficult time navigating these waters, especially after the coronavirus and all the clubs have been closed? You don't know what to do? Well, let me tell you about a great resource for you. That's the Austin Music Foundation. Austin Music Foundation provides ongoing artist development services through its educational panels, one-on-one consultations, and online resources. Now listen, gang, all of that stuff is available to you, the artist or music industry professional, for free. And since coronavirus hit back in March and everything is closed down, Austin Music Foundation had the forethought to move all of their programs online. That's right, you can watch panels online, you can do your consultations online. Austin Music Foundation is there for you, and it's all free to you, the artist. Just go to austinmusicfoundation.org. That's austinmusicfoundation.org. Get involved. Hey gang, let's face it, you're probably listening to this show and all of your other shows on your phone. Are you tired of filling up your phone with all of your favorite podcasts? Well, try Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is an app that allows you to stream thousands of shows right to your smartphone or pad. Download it for free at Stitcher.com or find it in your app store. Get the best in comedy, entertainment, science, sports, news, everything you want right there on Stitcher. Just go to Stitcher.com or find the app in your app store. I use Stitcher Smart Radio and I love it. That's Stitcher Smart Radio. Smarter way to listen to radio. Let's get down.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
It's time for How Did I Get Here? And now here is your host,
All right. Hello, I'm Johnny. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys all had a good weekend and you're having a good week. Sorry, this show's coming out a little bit late. Got tied up this week a little bit. I had a good weekend. I had a really good weekend. And I played a show with Skyrocket. It's funny. We played a wedding. And we've been playing these weddings for like 15 years or something like that. 15, 16 years. And you play a certain amount of weddings and you start kind of seeing the same characters, right? At the wedding. Like they're different people. They have different faces, but they are the same person that you saw acting in the same way at the last wedding. Like take, for instance, there's like the wacky friend that like in the last third of the reception puts his tie up around his head, like a headband with the tie. Like, hey, look at me. I'm this guy. Crazy Ed. You know, like that guy. Sometimes weddings have a crying bridesmaid going through something. That's not all the time, but that is a pretty frequent occasion. But one that always happens, never fails, almost every single wedding. There is a guy who's usually a groomsman or a friend of the groom who all of a sudden busts out in a dance move that's so powerful, it forces people to move into a circle and say his name, you know? Go Chad, go Chad. And this guy has mad dance moves. Sometimes these guys can do the worm. Anyway, this wedding had that. It had all the people you wanted to. And it's funny, I sang the song for the first dance, and you know, I had to learn the words of this song and learn the song or whatever. And when I went to actually sing it, I was cognizant of the fact that I was taking part in probably one of the most special moments in these people's lives. We don't know each other at all, but I'm the guy kind of like saying what they want to say to each other at that moment. I don't know. I was really cognizant of that. I realized it was special. Playing weddings is somewhat goofy, but it is pretty fun and incredible people watching. I should start making like short videos of all that stuff, shouldn't I? Anyway, guys, I have a great big show for you today. I'll be having two separate conversations. I will be talking to a new band you might not have heard yet called TV Temple. That's right. They're a two-piece. Emma Berrigan on drums and vocals and Ben Root on guitar and vocals. They have 3 singles available wherever it is you stream and download singles. One called I'm Not Like That, You'll Find Love, and another one called Complainin. You can find them at tvtempleband.com. They are absolutely awesome, man. I really, really, really think this band is incredible. I think you'll really like them, and they're extremely cool people. They're in the process of sort of like representing themselves. So anyway, you'll get an idea of who they are. They're fantastic people. But before I talk to Ben and Emma, I talked to Jenn Hartmann Luck, who just released a song that she collaborated with a young lady who's 11 years old named Kate Gilman Williams, who has a nonprofit called Kids Can Save Animals. You can find it at kidscansaveanimals.com. And the song is called Kids Can Save Animals. 15% of every download goes to Rewild, which is a nonprofit that's out there helping to stop animal extinction. And Jenn's working on a whole record that's coming out, I think, in September. And she's going to collaborate with kids on individual songs, amazing kids who are tackling huge problems like hunger, homelessness, bullying, clean water, and animal extinction. Like I said, with this song, Kids Can Save Animals. But this song, Kids Can Save Animals, is available now. You can go to JennHartmannLuck.com, get involved there, buy it, help out the environment, see this young lady who saw a problem in the world and did something about it, a person who is 11 years old. Amazing. Amazing. Great conversation with Jenn Hartmann Luck. So before I talk to Emma and Ben from TV Temple, enjoy my conversation with the amazing Jenn Hartmann Luck. Let's get down.
In the dust of the morning, in the mist of the dawn, you keep your eyes
we've met. Have we met?
You know what's crazy? I think we have met. I worked at the Paramount for a decade, so I feel like you've played a couple of the galas over the years.
Yep.
Right? And so I feel like our paths across, but I was running all the youth and education programming, so I was never like a direct intersection.
Okay. Maybe
but
we met
I don't
in
know
passing.
if you and I have ever been like, hi, Jenn, Johnny, like, but.
Yeah.
So I was there a decade. Actually, it's because of COVID that, it was being clear that furloughs were coming for a handful of folks, and I was already ready to transition. I'd already been 1 foot out the door. So we all just decided it was the right time for me to step away. And if that meant more of my team got to keep their jobs, which they did. So, so it was that was my exit. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go make music now then. I guess that's the gift of COVID for me.
Right. So, but you had taken a break from sort of being like the artist, because your other records, like the last one you put out was like 2006 or something.
Oh yeah. Like there's such a, I mean, I was pursuing music pretty, that was my main focus for a really long time. And then but I also always loved young people and always working with kids. And I got a gig in Los Angeles at Center Theater Group, which is one of the big regional theater companies out there. And they kind of pulled me into their education department, which was amazing. And I fell in love with that work. And I just I went to grad school for that work. And it was like, it got me into the Paramount. And all of a sudden I was in this administration role. And I was like, I'm never going to stop writing music, but I'm going to do this now. And then all of a sudden it was like clear. I was like, oh yeah, no, you obviously still deeply want to be making music. And so there's a whole lot that kind of happened inside of my time at the Paramount, which was incredibly, I feel very fortunate that my time was there while all this was happening, because the theater was so supportive of everything that I was doing, So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you know Kate Gilman Williams? Like, did she have?
Well, she was a kid I met at the Paramount.
Okay.
Actually. So she was one of our campers. And then, we found out she had released this book when we were presenting a play for family audiences called Me, Jane, which is about Jane Goodall. Mm-hmm. And so we had her come and do like a curtain speech with me. Like I was on stage with her and I brought her up and she talked about animal conservation and her book coming out. And it was like it was in perfect alignment because funds from her book sale go to the Jane Goodall Institute.
Wow.
So I was like, this is awesome, right? So I met this kid. And then as I started realizing I knew that I needed, inside of all of this insanity, inside of COVID, I knew I needed to record a new record. Like it'd been too long. It'd been so long since I just wrote music for myself that I was like, what is it that I want to do? And I just kept being drawn back to kids who were doing cool things. And so I was like, oh my God, what if I interview these kids and write songs about them, and so she was the first kid I reached out to, because I was like, I know this kid. She's an Austinite. She's awesome. I have her mom's number in my phone. Like I literally was like, I'm going to text her mom. And I don't know.
She's 11?
She's 11.
kind of people are doing that kind of stuff when they're 11? Jesus.
She went on her first safari when she was 7 years old, and she just came back. She was just like devastated by it. You know, she didn't understand how humans could be like killing these gorgeous animals, and how so many were extinct or endangered rather. And she was like, I have to do something about it. And so she started writing, and her mom was really supportive of that. And they just started, I don't know, it blew up. And then she started this organization. They're actually in South Africa right now, doing more work where she's going to all of these reserves. And I mean, she's just amazing. She's amazing.
People can check out the website at kidscansaveanimals.com.
Yep.
And it's a really great website.
It's a great website. Yeah. Well, she just partnered with Microsoft as well through Project 15. Are we on the record, or are we just chatting right now?
No, we're on the rered.
We are on the record. Okay. Yeah. I was like, are we now?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what's happening. She is in partnership with Project 15, which is a program of Microsoft. And she launched this kids-based club called Club 15. It's basically trying to get young people engaged with using technology that Microsoft has developed to solve problems around the world. So in some cases, it's helping to detect clean water. In some cases, it's to there's some software that's being used that can detect motion from humans in the night, human poachers that shouldn't be out in the, these like preserves.
Right.
And so then they can send, personnel to come and like arrest them before they kill the animals. So this technology that has been developed is now available. It's like free, it's like open source technology, and they're trying to get kids to use the technology. And Kate is now the spokesperson for that program.
That's amazing.
She's spoken at the UN. She has just, she's a rock star.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And so you've got a new record coming out in September is what your thing says? Is that so?
Yes. So
okay. So is this song will be on the record, Kids Can Save Animals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Kids Can Save Animals was the first single off of our new record, which is called Raise Your Voices, songs celebrating the kids who are changing the world.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So it's all happened very, very quickly, as so many things have been in COVID. I got the idea in February. My co-producer and I, we started dreaming up like, oh my gosh, we did this. He's Trapper Felitas comes from New York City and does a lot of Broadway, TV, film-based music producing. And so he was like, I could help make this much more commercial. You could focus on identifying the kids, interviewing them, like really leaning into the work that I've done for 25 years of working with young people in the arts. And so I started identifying all these kids. There's a handful of them are here in Austin. But then we have kiddos in California, Arizona, Chicago, New York.
What else are these kids doing? Going to space and stuff?
Oh my gosh, they're amazing. These kids are amazing. So the Austinites, we've got one kiddo named Ian, who was actually in the top 5 of Time Magazine's Kid of the Year contest last year. He has an organization that he has started called Ian's Giving Garden. And what this kid does, all right, Ian, when he was 8, he realized that there were many children in his own classroom whose only meals were coming from school. And he couldn't wrap his head around that.
Right.
And he wanted to solve that problem. He wanted to help. So he went trying to volunteer at the food pantry. He volunteered, he was trying to find ways to volunteer, and he was too young. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to grow my own food. And he started growing vegetables in his own garden to give to kids and families. It grew so exponentially that he's now given away, something like 28,000 pounds of produce to the homeless, to families, to young people. Then he started realizing, he just graduated from high school. This kid is now, he's still this, he realized, okay, so I'm now giving all this produce to people, some of which folks that are receiving this food don't even know how to cook it or how to eat it. So then he started cooking lessons, teaching the communities how to also use fresh produce in their kitchens and in their cooking. This kid is unreal. So I've written a song about him and his work called Grow that I'm just so excited about. There's two young ladies in town named Lucky and Miranda. Miranda has cerebral palsy. She's nonverbal in a wheelchair. And Miranda is an actress and a cheerleader and one of the most dynamic, giving, beautiful young women in the world. And when they were in elementary school, Lucky was like, who's that young girl over there who doesn't seem to have friends around her? And like, what's going on? And she just went over to Miranda and was like, I want to be her friend. They are now best friends. These two young women who are now in middle school, they're 14, 15. I'm not sure if they're going to high school next year or not. I have to remember that. I think they're either finishing up middle school or going into high school next year. And they've started this campaign called Through My Eyes, which is all around, if you could see my best friend through my eyes, you would see that she's just like every other kid.
Right.
You know, like, yes, she's nonverbal. Yes, she's in a wheelchair. Yes, her body doesn't move like mine or, you know, but it doesn't change how incredible she is.
Right.
And they're amazing. So we've worked on a track for them that I cannot wait for. Let's see. There's a young girl. I mean, there's some of these kids are just doing grassroots things.
How did you find these people? I got to tell you, there's one part of me that's amazed and gives me hope for the future. And then the other one's just making me so mad at myself. And also like my child self. What was I doing? I mean, I was playing instruments.
I mean, true. Exactly. Right. There is something that one of the reasons why I've always been drawn to young people is that I am so inspired by them always.
Yeah.
There is such hope and joy in a young person's view of the world.
Yeah.
And right now, more than anything, I was like, man, I just need these kids. I mean, I have a 5 and 7-year-old of my own, and there is this need to believe in a better tomorrow for my own kids. And right now, it's really hard.
It's hard, right?
To believe.
Yeah.
It's real hard. And so what I've even noticed in this process of interviewing these kids and writing these songs and sharing them with my own family, how my own kids are being inspired and excited. So, you know, my goal of doing this record, I wanted to find great kids. I wanted great inspiration to write some songs, right? Like, that's what I really wanted. And then when I realized that I could tell the stories of these kids who are doing great things. I mean, I've got kiddos who are feeding the homeless in New York City, fighting ocean pollution in Southern California. I have a young girl in Arizona. She's 14 years old, but she's already published. I've got her books here. She's already published 2 books around bullying. And she was severely bullied as a young person. And then the young woman who bullied her actually committed suicide. And that was the moment she realized, my God, the kids that are bullying, the kids that are hurting other people are hurting themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And we know that as adults, but young people, to truly understand that, it was this moment in her life where she was just like, oh my God, I need to do something about that.
Unbelievable.
So that young woman has done incredible work, but she published these books, the Monster Bully series. She goes into elementary schools reading these books around bullying and being an ally, standing up for kids who need support in those environments. And, you know, her second book is called We Are So Beautiful. So the song that we wrote for Ashley is called We Are So Beautiful. And it's just these kids. This record is just so... it's been a really profound experience for me, and I'm really proud of the songs. The songs are really wonderful and exciting. And, you know, Kids Can Save Animals was the first single on that, of this like collection of songs. And it's just, I listened to that song and what somebody said to me, they're like, you've managed to identify hope and joy and celebration inside animal extinction and like, right? And because I'm not looking to make us all sit and weep, right? I want us to find joy because that's what the kids do.
Yeah. It's a good pop song too, by the way.
I know, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is the rest of it like that? Is the rest of the record so
yes, and I mean, we're going to have a handful of more kind of like produced pop vibe. And then, you know, I'm such a folk rock kind of songwriter. So we do have a handful that are living more in the kind of folk rock, pop country vibe. I've got a few that are a little more kid-centric that just feel a little bit more like traditional kids. But I don't subscribe to kids' music or theater for young audiences. Like, I believe you write content that connects with young people and they will listen to it, period. So there won't be any like, come on, kids, let's sing along, right? Like, there's just not really what I do.
And there's no like Baby Shark element to it.
There's no Baby Shark, no. Like, the closest you're going to get is, let's go, la, 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 right? Like, I want everybody to sing along. I want the kids to sing along as much as the parents. And, you know, my own children become my test audience. And, you know, I had one song that I was writing. It's kind of a theme song of the record. So it is not inspired by a kid. It's inspired by all these kids. It's called Listen to the Children. And it used to be called Listen to Your Children. And my own kids were like, Mom, if you're singing this for kids, like, we don't have kids yet. So it's not Listen to Your Children. My son, 5, he was like, Mommy, I don't have kids yet. I want them someday. But if you're singing this song to me, it's not listen to my children. It's listen to the children. And I was like,
oh, look at that.
Okay, babes. Okay. And they've given me feedback on like vibe and tempo of some stuff. It's really awesome. I'm like, well, okay, this is perfect. And I come from this world. So, you know, the last, oh my God, almost 20 years, I've been working in arts education, theater for young audiences. My degree is I have an MFA in drama and theater for youth and communities from UT. And it's very niche and very specific in how you use the arts in communities for social justice purposes. Certainly it was my goal to become the director of education. So the fact that my role opened up at the Paramount Theater in 2011, you know, I was there for 10 years working for this badass arts organization, building up youth and family programming. And I was on the board of an organization called the International Performing Arts for Youth Association, where we worked with artists from all over the world who were creating really high quality dynamic programming for young audiences. And I was responsible for booking that work at the Paramount, right? So bringing those artists to our community for almost 10 years. And so I feel like I also know, I see a lot of what's out there across the globe for young audiences and families. And the work that I have always gravitated towards and the work that I want to bring my own kids to is the work that treats young audiences and young people as humans.
Yeah.
Not as like we children, but like they are complicated and sophisticated and they see problems in the world even when they're 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
They want solutions for those problems, right? So I'm excited about creating a record. You know, we are targeting it for the children's audience. You know, we're putting it in that bucket, but it's so far from just your traditional kind of kids album in a lot of ways. You know, though I have to say, you know, there's so many great artists now that are releasing music and content for family audiences that is really great, right? Really high level, really incredible production. So it is changing. The climate's changing for sure, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's still really crappy stuff out there. I mean, I have a couple of friends and, you know, that reached out to me, like when they had kids, they're like, is there any, like, you know, you're a musician, do you know any? And I was like, well, you know, the funny thing is I had young parents and young aunts and stuff that I just listened to the music they were listening to. Yeah. And songs like Yellow Submarine and Obla Di Obla Da and like Sugar Sugar by the Archies. All that stuff's way better than Baby Shark, to me.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, there's this great artist named Azzy Ash, and she's out of New Orleans, and she was a pre-K teacher, but she now does this set. I mean, she writes some of her own material, but she does a lot of like old New Orleans jazz.
Oh yeah.
Which is amazing because the lyric is so like, oh, sugar baby, sugar pie. You know, I mean, it's like this like great stuff that I love. I love that it's all this old New Orleans jazz.
Yeah.
But because she's just kind of bringing it to a newer generation, all of a sudden it's so much fun. And I mean, there are some really awesome artists who are realizing that we don't have to talk down to kids to entertain them.
Right.
And, you know, there's this trope in children's music. It's like, it's music for the parents too,
right.
Which we're kind of getting over. We're kind of tired of that trope, but like, it's true. Like, let's create content that families, like you say, like Kids Can Save Animals. It's just like, it's a bop. Like people hear it. My aunt, who's 85 years old, was like, well, this is a nice song. You know
There
what I
you
mean?
go,
I
yeah.
just think that's
Yeah.
hilarious. If Aunt Jackie's on board, I think I'm good. I'm good. But no, it's just, and I think you asked me, it's like, yeah, my last record before this one was 2006 when I was living in New York City, before I was in grad school, before I was married, before I worked at the Paramount for 10 years, before I had 2 kids. Like, it's just, I've lived all this life, and music was always a part of everything I did. It just I wasn't spending the time writing an album. I wanted to.
Right.
Musical theater also became a big part of my world, just having multiple theater degrees. I started working on a musical very unexpectedly while working at the Paramount that opened up a whole new world for me. So, that musical that we worked on was Gretel, the musical. It actually opened at the Paramount in January 2019. It's now been published and is being licensed.
Congratulations.
And that musical, thank you. And that piece then opened up this other project, The Battlefields of Clara Barton, which we actually just closed at the Stateside at the Paramount. We did 3 nights of a workshop performance of that in partnership with Austin Playhouse.
Awesome.
And so that piece is going on now in October. We're doing a full workshop production at Northwestern University with the American Music Theater Project out there. So this is why I say, kind of pre-COVID, my foot was kind of already out the door at the Paramount. My great colleagues over there were being very supportive of how I could continue to be a leader in our space over there in the education department, but also honoring that I do all these other things.
Right.
And, I had a really beautiful conversation with my management at one point that was just, I don't want to, regret is such a dramatic word, but I don't want to regret that I didn't really put myself out there doing the work that I wanted to do.
Right.
And then when COVID came, it was just all of us were like, yep, okay, universe, heard. So yeah, it's been awesome. I've been busier than ever over the last 6 months. And yeah, it's been great. It's been great. So yeah, it's my first record in 16 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Long time.
Yeah. It's insane.
But people can get out there and find Kids Can Save Animals, a single, wherever it is that you stream and download jams. 15% of every download goes to, is that Rewild?
Rewild. So
Rewild.
Yeah, we're doing, because these kids are doing great work in the communities, we also wanted this to be a project that gave back.
Right.
So every single song is going to have a give back to an organization of the kids' choosing. So some of them have their own nonprofits. Some of them work deeply with other nonprofits. So in this case, Gilman Williams' organization, Kids Can Save Animals, is not a nonprofit. She is an advocate for all of these nonprofits who are doing this work. So Rewild, also an Austin-based organization, they were formerly Global Wildlife Conservation.
Let's see why they rebranded.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot. I literally am always like, wait, But so Rewild is this, global nonprofit that is deeply passionate about rewilding the world, And so 15% of every download of the track goes back to support the work of Rewild. And I'm so excited about this piece of the work because I love Kate, when I talk to Kate about this, she's just like, I never imagined that there would be a song about my work. But the fact that it also is literally helping to save animals in the downloading of the track, she's just her family has been so supportive and so just excited. And I think that's the other thing, these kids, I remember sharing We Are So Beautiful with Ashley and her mom, sharing Grow with Ian and his mom. The song With Love is another track of one of our young girls here in Austin, Lotus. Their parents are like, wait a minute, these are real songs. These aren't just my joke about this is this nice lady is going to write a song about you and your organization. How cool is that? And then they're like, whoa, no, these are songs.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, man.
When we shared Kids Can Save Animals with the Gilman Williams clan, the level of just joy and excitement I had with getting to share this with them, I think, again, it's validation of these kids and their work, right? I'm not going to just write you a little nursery rhyme. I'm writing you a damn song. It's a song that I'm proud of. And hopefully you're proud of too. And hopefully kids that are hearing this work out in the world, right? This is the goal of an album like this, is that other children will hear these songs,
Right.
and be so excited and inspired. And I just confirmed that we are having our album release party at the Thinkery in partnership with the Thinkery. It's going to be a full day event supporting and celebrating kids who are doing great things.
Amazing. And people will be able to find links to all of that stuff at JennHartmannLuck.com, right?
Yes, very soon. Literally, you're getting the insider. I probably shouldn't even be talking about it yet, Johnny.
No, but that's all right, man. Congratulations, man. This is an amazing thing.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And people can download. Do you have a Bandcamp? I saw there was a link to a bunch of different. Do you have a Bandcamp?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's so funny because it's like I'm having to relearn all of the things because I've, my indie.
Because everything's gone.
I was sending, in 2006, I was sending hard copies of my CD to CD Baby, right? When I was still living in New York City. I was like, wait, so what do we do now? What are the kids doing?
Yeah.
I've had to relearn independent musicianship and how the self-promotion stuff. So the answer is a yes and. Right now, Kids Can Save Animals is available everywhere. The album will be available everywhere. Also, my older stuff is still all on iTunes.
It's on Spotify and stuff.
That.
Yeah.
All there. Yeah, it's my very angsty singer-songwriter self. It is not youth and family-centric per se. I was a different girl back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so my website, JennHartmannLuck.com, also talks, you can find out more about my musicals, more about my work in arts education. There's just kind of everything that I am doing. And I think things are happening very quickly. So I haven't caught up with myself yet, but it's a yes and.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. And people can look forward to finding the new album in September 2021. Go to JennHartmannLuck.com. Find out about that special show with the Thinkery. And Kate Gilman Williams, KidsCanSaveAnimals.com is where you can find that.
Yes.
And go download or buy the Kids Can Save Animals song, because 15% of every download goes to Rewild.
Please, thank you.
Thank you so much for doing the show, Jen.
Yeah,
Great
thank
talking
you
to
for
you. You're doing
having
amazing
me.
work, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Keep it up.
All righty, will do.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Splendor of the wild, in the wonder of it all, you keep your eyes on the horizon and find something.
That was Jenn Hartmann Luck. Get out there and get that single, Kids Can Save Animals. 15% of every download goes to Rewild. And to go out there and check out KidsCanSaveAnimals.com. Kate Gilman Williams, a nonprofit. What an amazing project Jen's working on, man. You got to give it up to her, man. What a cool person. What a cool way to do this, because adults sometimes lose sight. You get caught up in your life, man. You got to pay rent or mortgage or your car or your insurance, or you got a sick family member. But these kids got the time to look at the world and say, like, hey, we're going to be up there living on our own for a long time. So we got to make sure that this place stays as healthy as possible. Give it up to Jenn Hartmann Luck. What a great person. Get out there and find her at JennHartmannLuck.com. All right, let's talk to Emma Berrigan and Ben Root from the band TV Temple. Their new singles are available. There's 3 of them. I'm Not Like That, You'll Find Love, and Complainin'. Find them at tvtempleband.com. We have a great conversation. They are what is called, self-proclaimed, I will say this, the world's first beach alt band, which, by the way, if you know me, and you know I love pool parties, I love a beach scene, I love summer music, this is one of my favorite new bands around. So, without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Emma and Ben from the band TV Temple. Let's get down.
I wish I was an ocean, so at least I could storm. I wish I was your feet, so I could pace the way you do. I wish I was a book, so at least you try to read me. Yeah. I wish I didn't sleep, so I could feel the way you do. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm complaining again.
She always talks about cutting out all the words with just the breaths, like.
If you edit someone's speaking.
I can do that for you.
Only, the whole time. That'd be funny.
So, when did Complainin' come out? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
April 30th.
April 30th.
Oh, okay. So a couple months ago.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Your songs are so good.
Thank you.
They really are.
Thank you.
What's the one where you start talking?
I'm not like that.
I'm not like that. I like
Yeah.
that song too, man.
Yeah, and it was totally impromptu because at that moment in the song, we didn't know what we wanted. It was originally just a guitar solo, and I was in the garage, as we call it, recording the vocals, because we had hit the vocals a bunch of times at a buddy's house and like doing it in a studio setting, and we never got a take that we liked. And I was like, I'm just gonna go in there, and I went in there for like 3 hours and emerged with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are a self-contained sort of like writing and recording unit.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say.
And
As of now.
when we talked the other day, you were talking about how you're kind of going through phases live, and you've done it with the bass player. I saw some photos, and now are you looking to do it as just a duo? Is that what you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're definitely doing it as a duo because we both sort of have this crazy determination and amount. Like we have a standard for how much we get together and work, and it's really, really high. So we both figured at a certain point, we can't ask like a player to come do that without paying them. We get that.
Right.
And we were like, so we're just going to figure out how to do it ourselves.
Yeah, because right now it's not about the money, obviously, because there's no money right now. So it's more so like, this is our passion and this is like our baby. So it's like,
we just want to come at it with that crazy passion every day.
Yeah,
Right.
We don't expect someone else to buy into it as much as we do, because I don't know if they would feel like it was
That's
theirs
smart.
or- yeah.
Have you ever played to tracks? Have you ever done that?
No, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
We are.
Well, especially for you because you play drums. You're an incredible. I went through
Thank
your
you.
own personal. So creepy. That's what I do on
No,
the
you
days
have
that I have
to do
podcasts. Is I just but the research I do is like, oh, who are their friends?
Yeah.
What do they do?
Yeah.
But your drum videos, you're fucking great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Emma's incredible at drumming. So.
Yeah.
And she plays guitar and keyboard and sings. So we're working on all that together too.
Ben is also multi-instrumentalist.
Mm-hmm.
We're both trying to like just play everything at the same time. It's gonna be
But live, it is a little bit different to do that.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to play to a click, which you don't have a problem with, I imagine.
no. I mean, I was in drumline forever, so I feel like there's a click just constantly in my head
Yeah.
as I go throughout my day, just like that metronome beep.
Part of why you're such a good disciplined drummer too is because her roots were in drumline. So it's like, you know, classical training, very much classical,
Yeah.
if you could say, for drumming.
Can you do the weird like
Traditional grip? Yeah.
Well, what when they switch the things around and hit it with the back of the stick, and those crazy
Backsticking. Yeah, that's
backsticking.
A bunch of different little tricks that we used to do. Yeah, that was a good time. But no, yeah, we know the difficulties that come with the live thing because we're trying to figure that out. We have different versions we're going through right now, and one of them is having bass backing tracks that we will hit with the pad. And Ben plays guitar now and synth live, and he's like finding really cool techniques of how to do them at the same time, like hammering on and playing,
Having some gain, and then just doing hammer-ons.
Yeah. So we're still experimenting, but I have no doubt that we will figure it out, and it'll be
with the goal of
epic.
just being super entertaining.
Yeah.
Having a lot of fun for people to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 90s, I used to record, my ex-wife and I used to record 120 minutes, that MTV alternative thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
And they used to have like live performances and shit on there. There was a Radiohead thing. You were saying this thing the other day, and I was like, where have I seen it? Because you were saying, I'll be playing guitar and I'll hit a note on the keyboard with the head stuck on my guitar.
Right.
Radiohead guy did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
The skinny
love
long haired
Radiohead.
dude. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I saw them at ACL in 2017, I think, and it changed my life. Radiohead. They are.
What about it was so great for you? They're one of my favorite bands.
So what about it was so great was I was watching it, and I saw Tom York up there, and I was like, I get it. Something clicked in my head right then. I was like, I get what musical performances are. He's taking all the emotions in his body and his mind. He's putting it into his instrument and transmitting it to us.
Yeah.
And I felt in that moment that I could feel all of the emotions that he was transmitting. And I realized musical performance is not just me playing my instrument or whatever. It's transmitting an emotion to a person. That was what clicked for me during the Radiohead show. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. It kind of changed like the way I watched music and felt music, you know?
Yeah. How did you find music? Ben?
So my dad was always really into Stevie Ray growing up, and that's what the Beatles and things, but he played a little guitar, just a couple basic chords. And the way I found music was actually kind of a funny story. In kindergarten, I was at nap time, I kid you not, and I was like hearing this piano music in my head, like tapping on the mat. Like, and then I was like, if I can play piano on this mat, it can't be that hard, right? So I told my mom that day, like, I want to learn how to play piano. And she said, okay, we'll start with lessons. And my dad always had this thing that was like, if you say you want to start it, you have to do it the whole year. Right. You can't quit halfway through. You can quit at the end.
That's good.
So, yeah. And so then every year he would ask me, and I was feeling good in the summer. I was like, yeah, I'll do it again. It was always hard in the middle. I was like, I want to quit. But he was like, no, you said you'll do the whole year. And so from then on, I just learned how to play some piano. Never really learned how to read music great, but played, piano lessons for about 6 years. And then I picked up a guitar and I was like, oh man, this is it. This is cool, So that's how I found it. Mm-hmm.
What about you, Emma? How did you find music?
Yeah, I mean, similar story. My parents they weren't big music-y people, so I wasn't really surrounded with it as a kid, except for like 80s disco, which is pretty epic. But I was actually in choir in 2nd grade, and I went into my music teacher's room after school to ask a question about some choir thing, and she was on the phone. So being like the annoying little kid that I was just banging on everything. So I found some bongos, and I was like hitting them as fast as I could, just messing around. And so once she hung up, she came over and was like, hey, can you do this pattern and then this and this and this? And I was just following after her, and she's like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put you in the percussion class. But it was only for 5th graders, so that's why I didn't do it sooner. But she let me in as a 2nd grader, and I was obsessed.
Really?
Yeah, I was obsessed. So shout out to Miss McCown, if she's still around, the best music teacher I've ever had. And yeah, she saw something in me before I saw it, or I guess knew. And then, yeah, I loved it and just played forever.
Who are your drum people?
My drum people. That's
who are your drum gods?
Yeah, so when I was young, starting out, it was like the first one was Travis Barker, obviously, because I love Blink-182.
Okay.
And so that was fun. But then growing up, I'm kind of more into like syncopated gospel-y kind of drumming now. And so Annika Niles, she's a German drummer. Insane. She's amazing. And then Yusuf Days, obviously, Wood Tomish, they have really cool grooves. They're just very in the pocket. So I like them a lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've been hanging out, taking some lessons from Amber Baker. She's a really great drummer. She plays with Sir Woman.
Oh, yeah.
And Unknown Mortal Orchestra.
Oh, yeah. I love them.
She plays with both of them. And yeah, she's incredible. She's also just a really cool person. So,
are you like a drummer? Like, are you like into like Zappa and like?
That's funny you bring that up. Weren't we talking about this? Or someone was talking about this earlier. No, I'm not familiar. I'm not, I guess, a drummer.
No, that's good.
For drumming styles, I love listening to Snarky Puppy too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like that kind of music with horns and everything is crazy. Not in my capabilities yet, but hopefully.
I always connect them back to Austin, even though I don't think they're from
Snarky
Austin.
Puppy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just interviewed a guy, I think Bobby Sparks, was he in Snarky Puppy? Keyboard player guy?
Yeah, I think so.
And he plays with Tom Misch. Like, they did stuff with Tom Misch.
Yeah.
I just know that they mastered stuff at Terra Nova. I know that. That's all. That's why I connect.
I did have him on my show last year on Labor Day, Bobby Sparks, and he said a quote that I'll never forget. He said he normally does like these bigger tours, and there's buses and hotels and stuff involved, but when he tours a Snarky Puppy, it's like a van and staying at whoever's house you can. Mm-hmm. And then he said, the problem with touring with them, man, is that you wake up in the morning, you don't even know if you're going to be able to wash your ass.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry to take it down. When he said it was so hard for me not to laugh.
Yeah, well, it strikes a chord with us because we know that in our future is going to be a van tour in my 2001 Chevy van, which I'm driving today because my Camry isn't working. So, yeah.
Chevy van, baby.
Yeah, Chevy van. It's old, reliable.
Yeah. Do you know that song Chevy Van?
No,
by Bobby Johns.
It rings a bell for sure, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head.
It's a good song.
Okay.
It's like a 70s, like almost like a yacht rock kind of jam.
Yeah.
A lot of roads.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
With Phaser on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my yacht rock corner of the room.
Yeah. That's funny.
Okay, so answer this to me. You are the world's first and only beach alt band. Now, I have an obsession with summer music, and and I enjoy the music of summer. I don't find, like, explain to me what it is about your music that is beach alt. It's outside of the fact that if I had a Bluetooth speaker at the beach, I'd probably rock it.
Yeah. Well, we were trying for a long time to figure out our sound and our name and like what everything really meant to us. And it was actually your friend, right?
Yeah, so a good friend of mine, Jossie Bonds, who plays in Charlie Bell. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but they're an Austin band.
Okay.
They're great.
They're
also,
great.
yeah.
And so I sent him a demo, and he's like, "Oh, cool! It sounds like beach alt." And I was like, "That really is what we play.
That's amazing,
right?
Beachy, psychedelic-y, sunshine.
Right." And then doing some soul searching and some digging for like what the art is, we came to the conclusion that what beach alt really is its contrast. That's how I would describe TV Temple and beach alt, because TV Temple represents sort of the balance and the contrast between nature and technology, like nature being constantly evolving, constantly growing, and tech is always constantly decaying. And so we're really sort of
Also
like
vice versa, honestly.
Well,
with the increase of tech,
right.
like, nature is the one that's suffering.
What I'm saying, right, exactly. So there is that balance. But what I'm saying, though, is that if left to its own devices, a TV will only decay from the time that it's created. But the sort of the temple, the worship,
Yeah.
the like meditation of nature, it's constantly growing and dying, but it's always in a state of evolving.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
kind of a spiritual and a disposable,
right.
physical thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's kind of the thing about beach alt too, is that we've got sort of darker, like more naturally decaying elements of alternative music, like including synth and tech. And then we've got beach, which is very surfy, like natural tube driven gain and things like, just punk rock sort of beach. And so we're really into this concept that there's no light without dark. There's no life without death, and that's what TV Temple kind of represents, is contrast. Mm-hmm. It's the balance between both at all times.
Yeah, and we're trying to capitalize on that, emphasize it with us being a duo too, boy, girl, bald, redhead.
Right.
We're just very different, like contrast in like the way that things.
But with that contrast is a harmonious balance that creates music. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of like So I mean, and the reason we say beach alt is because we haven't been able to put our finger exactly on the mix of genres it is, but we just know that it sounds like beach alt. When we play it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good description. So Ben, you're from here? Mm-hmm. You're from Austin, born and raised?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Unicorn, man. There's like 10 of you guys.
I know, right?
So did you come up like playing gigs and doing stuff? Like, when did you start your first band? And what was it called?
My first band was called Casino.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah, and it was a 3-piece, bass, drums, guitar, and we played our first gig at the age of 12 at Threadgills.
Killer.
It was on Barton Springs Road.
Yeah, the outside stage.
Yeah, the outside stage.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so we played gigs around. We played at like Antone's and stuff.
During the day or something?
Yeah, during the day,
yeah.
And because the bass player Dave Zilkowski, who now plays in New York, his dad Vic played in a band called the Fireballs.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, we've got this great like act. They're like young kids," and so he'd plug us into like some Austin venues and stuff. And we had a lot of fun just playing the blues, like we were a blues band.
Okay.
And I never stopped really playing gigs. I always played and played and played. Had a band in college, and then.
Would you go to college here?
I went to UT,
Okay.
and I went to Austin High School.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went there for a year.
Oh, you did?
When I was a
Cool.
kid, yeah.
Loyal forever?
Yeah, as much as I can be.
As much as,
Yeah.
No, so, so I went to UT and then studied abroad in Paris, and when I came back, I met Emma, and since then, we've just been like, finally, I felt like I found like a harmonious balance, for music. Like, she can read my mind. And so instantly it clicked. Like, I came home from Paris and I didn't have a band anymore, and I was looking for a drummer, and Emma moved into this co-op where I was living at, and she said, I moved in here to look, to play in a band. And I was like, oh, cool. What do you play? And she was like, drums. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, we set up amp and drum kit in her room, and ever since then.
Yeah.
Wow, and you were going to UT?
Yeah.
Where are you from, Emma?
San Antonio.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's down the road, man.
Just down the road, yeah.
Outside of playing in like drumline and shit like that, did you have bands? Were you in bands?
There were a couple that I tried to form, back when I was a kid, but we never gigged anywhere. It was more so like, let's all hang out one time and jam. And yeah, no, I was a very active kid. I feel like I tried to do everything, so I didn't really fully commit super hard to drumming or like creating a band, because I played like soccer and basketball and cheerleading, and I was just on the go all the time. But no,
Was that your doing, or your parents were like, hey, you're going to do a lot of stuff?
No, it was me. I like learning. I like trying, and I really like challenging myself. Like, if anyone knows me, they know that me being a cheerleader is like the last thing that I probably would have ever done. But it was more so my friend. I was bored, and I was like, can you not see me doing? And she was like, cheerleading. And I was like, okay. So I just like trained really hard for a couple months, and then made the last spot on JV. And I was like, I have so much respect for them. It's so hard.
Did you like being a cheerleader?
It was fun for a bit, but moved on.
It's funny because like being in a band and like rock and roll, there's like this freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like right behind you is 14-year-old me playing my first gig in someone's house in 1983. And I did that because I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do. And every time I went to go join some school thing, it was just like a trip of like people telling me I was doing it wrong and like all this stuff. And I was like, which I was, but
Well,
but there was a certain amount of freedom. It seems like you were okay with all of the structure that had to go along with it.
I guess so, in a way. I don't know, but what I like most, I guess, about being in a band for me is not really the lack of structure and the freedom. I guess freedom in a sense, but I really enjoy performing. I love the energy and the people so I could do that for the rest of my life.
And I don't mean freedom like you don't have to do anything. I mean freedom in just the autonomy of it. Like you're in charge of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yeah.
You count off the song.
Yes.
It's not some
True.
guy in the front going, waving his arms, counting you in. Like you're the person that says, that song starts too fast, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Yeah.
I like that way.
And we have the freedom to create our own genre and whatnot, and to create our own music, create our own vibe completely.
So how do you, so wait a minute. So how did you meet? You just met in the co-op?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty serendipitous. It was just
yeah, well, we always feel like there's some kind of like divine probability in it all, like some kind of fate.
Yeah, I mean, when I was touring all the co-ops, because there's a bunch, I got to Halstead, and there was this guy playing the guitar.
Who later
I found out it was
who's one of my best friends.
One of his best friends.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I need to move into this one because obviously people play music here.
Right.
But like Ben wasn't there at the moment. And then I moved in, and then we met, and it just like perfectly went together. And in the beginning, we kind of just jammed very nonchalantly and would like play some co-op shows here and there and just like hang out more so than like, okay, this is serious. But we really hit a point in I think March, honestly, with the pandemic, and we were like, okay, let's take this
You mean
seriously.
this last March 2021?
Yeah, so we're relatively new, but we've come so far.
Yeah.
We're really new.
Yeah.
We just really started, as TV Temple too, because the reason why we called the band TV Temple, besides the whole ideology behind the contrast and the ideas that we have about what is beach alt, which is constantly evolving. But the first demo that we ever recorded, we recorded the vocals in a room in the co-op called the TV Temple, because there was a bunch of couches in there, and we were like, oh, this is a sonically like pretty good room.
Yeah. It was also a really great place for all the people that lived there, because when you're living in a co-op, it's like you're a family, and that was one of the places where we would all gather and like watch movies and just kind of hang out and be a cute little family.
Like a commune.
It was special.
Yeah, like that. Yeah,
it literally was like
everyone has their own labor tasks. Like
yeah. Communists. You're a bunch of communists.
It's a microcosm of communism that really works.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah,
because everyone pays essentially taxes on their rent that goes towards the common food and common good.
Yeah.
And you have to do your labor. Yeah.
Is that organized? It's run by somebody?
It's actually run by students. Like, it's all run by us, which is the coolest thing.
And so you were a student, and so were you? You just graduated? You just graduated too?
I graduated in 2019.
Okay.
I graduated in May. Yeah, 2021.
Shit, man, you guys are young.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're just getting started. Yeah.
We got big plans.
Yeah,
Right.
we've got really, really big plans.
Yeah.
And really our main goal is to just bring smiles to people.
Oh, yeah.
That's our main thing. We want to just spread joy. And like we said, like before, is let people forget about their lives for an hour when they come see us.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of duo bands now. And I think that it comes down to almost like a financial, like there was the White Stripes and the Black Keys, I think kind of were like, hey, it's okay to do this.
Yeah.
But then just financially, like touring, it's so difficult. Like you guys were saying, it's, you can't pay people to come and rehearse like the
Yeah.
way that you guys want to rehearse. But it's weird because you're young enough to have a band that, because I always attribute that to age. Like when Einar and I first started playing together, or first met, we were like in our late teens and early 20s and just kind of like, hey, you guys want to rehearse every single day? Like, yeah, because we're going to be the best band in the world. Like, okay, go to the gig and like, hey, we're going to take this money and put it back into the band. Like, no one's going to get it. Okay. Like everyone, that's how you pay for your rehearsal. You know what I mean? And all that stuff. And then as you get older, it's really hard to find people that are like, hey, dude, man, I got a wife, or I want to go live a life. Like, I don't want to dedicate this whole time to this. But you guys, it's hard to find people even in your age group that are dedicated like that.
I mean, I don't know if it's hard to find as much as we're not really looking.
Okay.
Because we really are bought into the duo, and we want, because like you said, financially it is good to have less people to pay for traveling or food or rehearsals, but at the same time it's also like the philosophy that we hold for what it means to us and like how it is like this thing that we've created together, and it would be kind of hard to get someone to
Jump
buy into
in.
that,
Yeah.
or like have that same, because we said, we work together so well, we read each other's minds, and also like we have, what is that called, the disagreeing,
Thoughtful disagreements.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Often.
good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
we
works out.
constantly are seeking out like thoughtful disagreement, but we never belittle each other or do anything. Like we're very much on the level of like this. The idea is we're pushing forward all the time. So
we disagree a lot, but it's always so constructive and like necessary, in my opinion.
Definitely, yeah. We're constantly seeking that thoughtful disagreement for sure.
So then during quarantine, was you guys were doing stuff still?
Yeah, I mean, my parents, I moved back to San Antonio for a few months because, it was crazy. No one really knew what was going on.
Right.
But after everything kind of settled, like there was one weekend that Ben came down and he stayed, and we just recorded so many demos. We just spent 8 hours in that tiny little room that we set up my drums and his guitar, and just recorded a bunch of scratch tracks, and that kind of got us jump started, as well as riding around in the golf cart and longboarding around the neighborhood as like a little break.
Yeah, I saw you're a skateboarding person.
Yeah, I mean, Ben
You
is
are too?
more so.
More so?
I mean, no, I wouldn't even say that. I just grew up skateboarding. I always loved skateboarding. But it can be hard on the knees and the and the bones.
Yeah, you can break those wrists.
So, but I would go to House Park and just skate on the vert ramp, for like 8-10 hours a day, and just like all day in the summer. Or you'd find me there or at Barton Springs. And I really feel like those things have been like the stoked aspect of skating and swimming and jumping off the diving board at Barton Springs.
Yeah.
Very much like plays into our music. And I've always felt like Austin is like a beach town without the beach.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that's where the beach alt comes in, because it's like it's beachy and surfy. Like there's you'll hear those like harmonies and the things that sound characteristic of surf, but then there's also that kind of like more alternative rock, like indie rock, even a little bit of pop punk stuff in there. Again, how we describe it could be a number of words, but it just ends up being beach alt for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a thing. There's I think it's Complainin, where there's this strumming pattern that you're doing. Ding, 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 ding. Like it's like a there's like a push and a pull to it, you know?
Right.
Have you guys ever heard the band Haircut 100?
No, but I love that name.
They have an album called Pelican West. You might really dig it.
Okay.
Like it's like a weird kind of like smooth major sevenths. Like they played their
nice.
guitars up high and stuff. They were like from 1982 or so.
Cool.
Amazing.
But yeah, they were very cool.
Let's
Kind of like
check
a
it
new wave, new romantic band.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. So what do your parents think of it?
Yeah,
TV
so-
Temple. Like, what do they say?
Well, so
because you guys
yeah.
are young enough where they're like, hey, so this is like when he came over and he was your parents were like, so this is you're gonna okay, so you and this guy just gonna jam and stuff? Like, is that what's going on?
So so my parents like always. My dad was happy that I didn't play sports in high school. Like he was like, you should like just if you like guitar, play guitar. And he was always really supportive, and so was my mom. So, and my parents are just super supportive. That's how I would describe them. Yeah. So they're always just helpful, and they let us play in their house when I was growing up. And if we ever needed a rehearsal space, luckily we don't have to do that anymore. But they're always at every gig. They wouldn't miss one, So
Very, very great people.
yeah.
Love his mom and his dad.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, my parents obviously have been super supportive too. Growing up, they gave me the ability to do anything I wanted essentially, and like try all of these new things that I was so frantically was like doing. And so I really appreciate all the opportunities that I was given with them. With the music thing, they really love the music and they think it's great, and they love listening to it. And they were actually in one of the music videos that we shot. They came down for You'll Find Love.
Oh yeah.
So it was really cute. They were the couple that could not kiss to save their life. Like
Right.
they just kept laughing. I was like, can we just get one good kiss on camera? Like, oh my God. Because we shoot and like direct and produce all of our music videos as well. But yeah, no, they're supportive. They're a little worried because it's a scary thing to come out of college and be like, well, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is my full everything.
You got a business degree or something?
No, I got like an art and entertainment technology degree. So like visual, digital, 3D modeling stuff. So hopefully we'll get to use it whenever we get bigger and we have like cool stuff behind us.
I don't know if I filled you in on this yet, but I'm hoping we can use it in our next music video.
Oh,
3D
perfect.
model of Earth from space.
Easy money.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is Emma doesn't even realize how talented she is. She's so incredible as a human and as a musician. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's very nice of you to say.
I know, thank you.
It's true. It's really true.
Yeah.
And there's no like love connection,
There's love, but it's
not in
lot of
that,
love.
not
Yeah.
in
romantic
the
way.
romantic way. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's another thing that I see a lot of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
It's also very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm always saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
we,
I'm
we
like-
determined that early on that wasn't going to be part of
Where
it.
does the fighting end?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like when you're at home, are you mad at that person because they sang flat on their harmony last night?
Yeah.
Or are you going on stage pissed off because they didn't wash the dishes? You know,
Right,
it's too much.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, we didn't want to get that tangled in. So like when we first started jamming, we like just determined that clearly. Like, hey, we're just gonna keep this like awesome bond, and we want to have a working relationship, and we definitely have tons and infinite love for each other.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
It also helps being gay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I figured from the video
Oh yeah.
as well.
That was a really cool.
It also happens with gay couples too. My
Yeah.
friend Jamie is on tour with her girlfriend all the time, and
Yeah.
sometimes I get a call like after a gig, like, "Hey, buddy, I
Yeah.
can't. I hate this person."
yeah.
Quit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it can be done. It is done. Like Matt and Kim, they're also a duo, and they're great. And
Who's that?
They're some poppy kind of
Okay.
punky band. The girl's a drummer and the guy's a synth singer.
Hey.
Yeah, they were pretty big in like 2010.
Yeah.
I think,
Okay.
with all that.
What's that one song? Daylight. It's
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a piano.
You
and-
probably know it if you
yeah,
heard it.
Okay.
you would hear it.
But yeah,
you would know
no.
it.
There are a couple, but so yeah, for some people it works. For some, it's just good to have a distinct.
Yeah, if
Separation.
you can tell, or if you can't already tell, we sort of have tried to take all the stuff that traditionally makes making music hard and make it easy. So it's like it's hard to tour with a 7-piece band or a 5 or a 3 or like 4.
So you're gonna
whatever.
do it as a 2-piece.
So we're gonna do it as
Yeah.
a 2-piece. Like we know that it's complicated for so we determined that early on. We were just gonna be a working like we were gonna work together and just create a strong bond. Like other stuff that just we know has been really difficult traditionally, like the big barriers that would make it impossible for us. We're just trying to like smash through those so that we can just focus on making music. you know?
Having those difficult conversations early on. It's just honestly, it's communication. As much as this band thing is been a thing. This has also been very huge life lessons for me, at least, on just
Same,
like
yeah.
how to be a better person, how to communicate better, how to
Yeah.
like empathize, and like I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
learned a lot from Ben.
And me too. I continue to always learn from Emma all the time about how to communicate better. Like, she's definitely made me a much better person. Yeah. Just like,
Was one of you in therapy or something?
we've both
Both,
done some
probably,
therapy.
yeah.
Yeah. We've done some. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, music obviously is life and it's important for us, but at the end of the day, everyone, you kind of just want to be a good person and make meaningful connections and have great life experiences. So you can't really do that if you're a horrible person.
Yeah, and we learned about the importance of
true.
discipline too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just true. Like discipline, in other words, consistency. So it's like we make sure, and our goal is to take notes every day, even if we don't meet. So we call each other usually at the end of the day at like 11,
Yeah.
and we take notes, even if it's 5 minutes, even if we're on vacation, Christmas, birthday, whatever. We try and do it every single day. Of course, we miss some days, but for us, it's like that discipline, like learning. We learned how to be like, instead of having a lot of intensity, we learned how to have a lot of consistency together.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
That's where it's hard because you blow up and do everything one day and then you spend the rest of the week just.
Yeah.
just sleeping.
And we've
yeah.
done that. We've been there where we went really hard for like 3 months straight, and then that caused us to burn out and not do anything for like a month.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we were like,
And we
okay.
realized how important it would be to just instead take it a little bit at a time, but make sure to keep it up every day.
Yeah.
And that time that we take notes is so important because like we're like, oh, if we hadn't have taken these notes, we wouldn't have known to like, you know, get ready for this recording session we had, or like to, you know, just where we are right now. We're just honest about it. Oh, did we hit our goals? No, but we're going to take notes about it. You know what I mean? We're going to continue. We're going to try again tomorrow, you know?
Yeah. And these singles that are out, these are just you two guys on there.
Yep.
You
Just
two
us.
cats.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. We've had really weird opportunities that helped us get there, but at the end of the day, we think that it might be best for us to just do it kind of like homegrown style.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of, I don't even know. We do a lot of like networking and talking and bartering and like just cool random things that pop up and opportunities that we get just from being like spontaneous and
Yeah.
cool talking experiences. And so we got the opportunity to go up to Music Hill Studio, which was where the Chicks recorded.
Formally, yeah.
Formerly,
Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think so.
they rebranded though, so
Yeah,
now they're called
the
Music
Chicks.
Hill.
Yeah, they were formerly
Them too.
the Dixie Chicks. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they had a studio, like it's in like the hill country.
Yeah, it's pretty far out
Really
west.
cool room. So we had an opportunity from a learning engineer who was like trying to learn and figure it out, and he liked our music, so he recorded us through some analog equipment.
Yeah, for one day for free, which was really cool. So we tracked a lot of the drums and the guitar, and then we took that and, you know, added our own sparkle, like put some slide in there, put some synth
Slide
in there,
guitar,
Yeah.
vocals, and
bass.
Can we geek out on some equipment stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Some
yeah.
musicians listen to this show. All
Yeah.
right. So what's your guitar setup?
So my guitar now, I play a 1966 Fender Mustang.
Fuck yeah.
It's so sweet, and I got it set up at South Austin Music with Ben, who I would
Yeah.
recommend to anyone. It's worth the wait. he does such a good job.
Ben does do a good job, but we have a different sponsor for that on the
Okay.
show. So I'm not arguing. But they do actually send their overflow to the guy that does the.
Okay,
So, yeah,
got
Ben's
it,
a great guy.
Yeah. So the problem with Mustangs is like the tuning is shit usually because that has a bridge on it that like whatever. So I got the bridge a little bit more solid down to the neck. And those original 66 tuners, I think they're Schallers or something like that. They stay in tune for weeks.
Yeah.
So I used to play a Gibson Les Paul, and it was like a 2008 whatever,
Oh,
and it
it's-
never stayed in tune no matter
Thing was
what.
Those
Cursed.
things, you gotta. It's almost like you have to pay them to stay in tune.
You
Like,
do, I
I'll
know,
give you
it's-
$20 if you can make it through this song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
it was like
It
throughout
was so
a show, he
bad.
would be like every time.
Every time I was
Yeah.
tuning and it took me out of the thing, and it's like, so I was like, you know what? I'm not buying a new guitar. I'm buying an old guitar.
Yeah.
And it fits perfect tone for what our sound is.
Yeah.
It's one of our colors. It's this baby blue that's like in our color scheme.
Yeah.
Love it. I play a Supro Big Star amp.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I use like just a delay and reverb, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look at that. How do you get the crunch?
I just crank the amp, and that's how I get the crunch.
The way that you actually get the crunch,
Right,
not
yeah.
like a series of pedals. That
I just found that like no drive pedals sound as good as the amp to me. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a lot of experience with kind of just making do with the items that we have and
Yeah.
like the gear that we have. Like the first demo we recorded in my co-op room, we just had a SM57 on the snare and then like an SM58, I think.
As a room mic. Oh no, in the
bass.
In the bass. And then a room mic SM58 again into a mixer.
Old looking dusty mixer.
Yeah, with real crappy preamps and then into a Scarlett.
Yep.
USB.
2-channel.
Yeah.
I actually got the amp from Matt, who I traded. I made him 3 videos for his studio, and he gave me that amp.
Yeah.
Because I had no money.
A quick side note, that's
Yeah.
what you do. You're
Right.
a film person. You make videos and
Yeah.
you not just for yourself, but that's your hustle.
Right, that's my
Side
hustle. I
hustle.
make videos. Yep.
Great
All right.
production company.
What's it called?
2Perf.
2Perf.
2Perf Productions.
2Perf Productions.
Yes.
My pen is not here, but I'll write that down. My pen is not here. It has gone to lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Emma, tell us a little about your gear.
Yeah, let's talk about your gear, Emma.
I am not a huge gear nut, but I've been using a Yamaha Stage Custom Birch for ever. That's what I use.
I just heard Matt Chamberlain yesterday on a podcast saying that he switched to Yamaha.
Really?
Yep, just recently. Go
What
ahead.
about the snare, though?
Oh, the snare, honestly, don't really know what it's called. It was crazy. I just won it for free on a modern drummer. Like I entered a raffle and then I won it. It's like $500. It's a DW something. It's heavy though. It's really freaking heavy.
Sounds good.
No, it sounds
good.
great.
Whatever you do to your drums.
And then I
good.
love Zildjian K Custom Dark cymbals.
Oh yeah,
Personally,
classic.
Yeah, I like more of a darker sound, but yeah.
And you've been using that second floor tom lately.
Oh yeah. Well, the kit that I had, I bought it as a 7-piece, but I've never played it fully as a 7-piece. I'm such a
7-piece.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like you're Neil Peart or something.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
It was good. It came in handy when I covered the Rush when I covered his video or his song. But
Nice.
no, yeah, I'm very stripped back. I do the jazz setup. I do just a 4-piece with a ride in place of the second tom.
Do you jazz?
I did jazz a little bit, not much. I did it in high school. I was in the middle school and high school jazz band, I think. But it was
Who's the guy? DJnet?
Dijonette.
Something DJnet? That's a guy? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm terrible with like jazz.
Oh, I don't know anything.
I don't
about
know jazz. Yeah, me neither.
I know
man.
the tin 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 tin. That's it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to proclaim myself as any jazz master.
I don't think guys with that many Kiss action figures on their speaker know jazz. I think that's that's the sign to anyone that comes in here like, oh, this guy's not a jazzer.
Don't talk to me.
By the way, all of that stuff was given to me
That's crazy.
because I love Kiss. But all of that stuff was given to me by people.
Did that happen to you? You tell your friends you like one thing, and then that's
The
now
podcast.
Oh,
You talk about how Kiss changed your life in some way when you were a kid, and then all of a sudden, like you get an email. It's like, hey, what's your address? I have something.
Yeah.
I have Kiss rubber duckies. Someone gave me
wow.
over here.
that's
Yeah,
sweet.
it's not even enough room on there.
Well, what about the Speed Racer, the Mach 5?
Someone gave me that too. I'm a big Speed Racer
I
fan.
love Speed Racer. That was
You
my
see what
favorite.
resides in the driver's seat of the Speed Racer Mach 5.
Is it a pic?
Yeah. No. Look at the name. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, nice. John Stamos.
Yeah. Uncle Jesse. He plays with the Beach Boys.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which is
Amazing.
weird.
Yeah.
The guy from Who's the Boss, or not Who's the Boss. What was it?
I'm not sure.
Oh, you guys don't even know who John Stamos
I
is.
do, but I
I
don't
thought
know.
he
I
was
don't.
the guy from Full House.
Full
Yeah,
House.
yeah.
Okay.
Uncle
House.
Jesse.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse.
Stamos.
I just didn't want to say it because you started talking music, and I
I
was
just
like, we're not
realized
talking
how
about-
young you guys are.
Yeah.
Compared to me.
I
We're
mean,
a little young.
in street years.
I was already in my 20s when that show started.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's like.
We watched it on it was on Nick at Night. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick at Night.
Yeah.
And didn't they just come out with the Fuller House or something?
Yeah. I think
Oh, yeah.
they did. Yeah, second
Yeah.
on Netflix.
I don't know.
But I heard it wasn't good.
I don't
I
know.
heard it wasn't good. I don't know.
I try
haven't
not to
seen it.
watch TV.
Fuller House is
Yeah.
the sponsor of this show, so no, I'm just
Oh
joking.
God!
Specifically, John
It was
Stamos
really good.
is personally the sponsor of this show.
That got me so nervous. I was like, I love
Uncle
it.
Jesse. I know. I feel like Ben's gonna come after me now
Why?
because. Oh, do you guys know Sean at South Austin Music? Sean Crooks.
No.
Sean White?
Okay,
Oh, Ben from from
Ben from South Austin. Yeah.
I don't know Sean. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my godson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anar and me have known him since he was a little kid.
Nice.
Dude,
Yeah.
Anar.
Dude, Anar.
Shout out.
We love that guy. Like,
yeah.
We love that guy too.
Yeah.
because we were thinking about, we were just kind of like reminiscing, but also being like grateful and just thinking about like how far we've come in this experience. And he definitely has a lot of like,
It's funny
helped
when
us out a lot.
when someone's real frank with you like that, in a way that most people just like, you go like, hey man, is this good? Oh yeah, it's good.
no,
Right.
just be honest.
Like, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, is this a good shirt? Yeah. Like,
No.
Right.
Anar's a good guy like that.
No,
Is
yeah.
this a good shirt? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I respect him so much, because I'm also very blunt like that, and
Yeah.
it's hard to find people that can do that to you, but also respectfully at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what's interesting in our experience of playing together, like we were playing together and we lived in this thing in the 90s and we were playing. We made a living, like, you know, just going
So
around
cool.
in the region playing gigs.
Yeah.
And there got to be like we had to play 3 set gigs. So we're stretching shit out. We weren't thinking about outside of, we weren't trying to be rock stars at that time. We were just trying to live off of this thing that we did.
Totally.
And it's a different thing. And we met this manager that was like, hey man, you guys are good, but fucking, you guys are like a bar band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to get out of the bar band and get in the stadium band jam. And he was just very honest. Like, you play him a song, and like, I remember the first few times he'd be like, God, that is just the worst verse in the world. And I mean, I take like the last half of the chorus and just start over, and like, just like, what are you saying to me? But the guy wasn't wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
we
That's the kind of
cannot-
feedback you want.
Yeah. And then you realize, like, shit, honest feedback actually helps. Some
Right.
guy just going, like, saying what you want them to hear, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's why we're so stoked for you guys to come to the rehearsals and stuff and get
Yeah.
like, we want to get annihilated with feedback.
Yeah, because
Right
right
now
now
it's
told
just-
us at one point, he was like, would you go out and watch your show? And that really stuck
That's
with us.
exactly, that's the question.
It is the question. Yeah, and that stuck with us because I was like, honestly, at this moment, I wouldn't.
Yep. I did.
It's got to be better.
I did
you know?
those consultations a few years ago before Anar took them over too, and that was
Yeah.
always the thing I would ask is like, well, I'm listening to this thing right now. You know, someone would play you like, oh, I don't know why they won't play my song on the radio, but it's like legitimately like a blues rock song that sounds like it was recorded in 1991 or something, and you're like, do you hear anything like that on the radio? I mean, what in your thing indicates to you that that's a hit song outside of the fact that you made it?
Yeah.
And you have a personal attachment to it.
Right.
It's like, you know, your kid can't be a model. Your kid is ugly and short. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure your kid's good at other things.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And so we're trying to like live on the reality plane, you know. So we want to hear.
that
hear.
mean?
No,
No,
I mean,
I mean,
these
it's
are
honest.
facts. These are facts.
we love the honesty.
It really clicked for us when we opened for Trouble in the Streets and
Oh, yeah, I like those guys.
Yeah, they're great. We opened for Trouble in the Streets and
Golden Dawn.
Golden Dawn Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Incredible.
we had our set and then we watched them and like the energy was so insane. Like we were glued to the stage.
Yeah.
When they started playing, everyone came to the front. And so Emma and I talked to each other that night and we were like, this is what we need to be. We need to be there.
Yeah.
And so we decided we're going to work and do whatever, absolutely whatever it takes. Doesn't matter how many hours we need to put in, what we need to figure out.
Right.
We're going to smash through every obstacle so that we can be that good, you know,
Yeah.
and we're going to be the best. And that's what
Yeah.
we decided. And so ever since then, we've just been on a crazy journey of like
Yeah.
development, you know, under construction.
We don't want to play a show again until we're, like you said,
Until someone's
would go
walking
see
down-
it ourselves.
Yeah. Someone's walking down Red River and they've got Instagram, they've got Snapchat, Facebook, they've got 2 bands in the left, 2 bands in the right, but they see us from across the
Nice.
street and they're like, that is where I want to be right
And even
now.
worse, you think about it now, and I mean, you know, people have lives. Everyone's gotten a lot better at cooking over the last year
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and a half.
Sourdough.
And yeah, I did. That's the one thing I didn't do.
You didn't
I
do
didn't
it?
make bread. I didn't make bread at all. I made disgusting, like,
Kombucha.
cheese, beef, and pasta casseroles and shit like that. Like, it's crazy.
So everyone but you got better. That's what you're saying.
I got better at cooking, but I did not bake bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I saying before I went off on that thing?
You said that everyone has lives. They got better at cooking.
No, everyone can do anything else. Like, you've got Hulu, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You've got an array of, like,
There's an abundance of.
and just on fucking YouTube alone, you can watch your favorite band playing any era of their career. Like,
True.
the Beatles, Kiss, Styx, whatever your jam is.
Totally.
BTS.
Yeah, so why would they come and see us? Because
It takes a lot to get people out.
It does, yeah.
Because
So-
we want to entertain and bring them value that they can't get just from a screen. There's something about that live element. I mean, I know people are so hungry.
Well,
for
I mean,
that
also,
now.
here, there's also 363 bands playing at the exact same time that you are all over town.
Exactly.
That's
So some closer to someone's house with easier parking than when you're
Right.
playing. You know what I mean? Like, there's just
That's
so
the
much
type-
factors.
Yeah, it's like that could even be the factor. It's like, oh, well, it's 15 minutes away and I have to park.
Right.
So why do you want to come see us? Because I know for a fact when we go to a TV Temple show, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing about Kiss. Not to bring them back into the conversation,
do
but their thing is like, we know what you're doing. You're getting a babysitter.
Yeah.
You're paying for parking. You're paying money for a ticket. You're standing in line. Stand in line to pee. You're standing in line for a beer. We're going to give you everything we got every time we get up there.
Totally.
Yeah.
You had something you were about to say before.
Yep. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I am looking forward. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about it yet because it's not announced, but
Oh.
I am looking forward to working with you guys in a capacity that will be a lot of fun for a while.
Yeah. We are too.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Much fun stuff.
We're getting super ready. Like, we've been working really hard to bring you guys something that we think is pretty good so that we can workshop it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So.
So no live shows on the horizon. No, nothing booked. You're woodshedding until you get this thing together. What about singles? I saw there's a shitload of demos I was listening to today as a playlist on Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Those are good. Your demos are on there.
On Spotify.
On
Not Spotify, SoundCloud.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm 52, man.
Yes.
SoundCloud, Spotify, 8 tracks. It's all the same to me, man.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-
No, we do have a bunch. I mean, yeah.
What we're going to be working on right now is we're creating a video for Complainin that we're going to release
Yeah.
Okay.
very soon. And then once we do that, we're going to basically be recording a bunch of short videos to share with people on Instagram and TikTok
cool.
and things like that.
Yeah, we're gonna jump on the TikTok train.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
just want to show people, like I said, our main thing is to add value. So we want to just like be posting stuff that people are stoked about.
When you're telling people now, like say people are listening, there's a lot of people that never heard you guys, and if they've gone this far into the podcast, how can they can keep up with you by going to the thing and following you guys on Spotify and all that stuff? Is there any other recommendation, like to stay connected since you're not playing and stuff? And
Yeah,
like,
Instagram. At
Instagram.
TV Temple Band. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram because we're really active there, and we will, we'll reply to all of our messages and comments, and we love interacting with fans and things like that. So
Yeah.
TV Temple Band on Instagram
Yeah.
is a good way to keep in touch with us. And we definitely post everything there, updates and videos
Yeah.
and things like that.
Shows. We'll
Yeah.
post all of that there. But yeah, even though it is seemingly quiet right now for these next couple months, it's definitely going to be the quiet before the storm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're going to come out with a bang, and we're going to have
Shows and
awesome shows with bands that we love to play with and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah.
What bands do you go see? What are your bands here in town that you like?
We were just talking about this in the car. We love TC Superstar.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
actually opened for them a while ago.
Yeah, we played with them in December, and like I went to college in the same time as them, so like my old band played at their album release show, their first one.
Oh, really?
It was in a co-op.
Wow.
And it was really fun. Yeah, it was at French House Co-op. And I remember seeing them. They had the dancers and everything, and I was like, "Dang, these guys are legit."
Yeah.
Yeah, and ever since then,
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Einar and I talk about those co-op shows.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even know if they went around because obviously at some point in your life, if you're like, in your mid 30s, hanging out at some college
Yeah.
co-op.
they have great shows though.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
shows, and just the vibe was like, hey man, there's
Incredible.
the keg and the red cup, and like
Yep.
$5 for the cup and like see you later. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's great. We decided at a certain point we would rather do co-op shows than bars. We don't want to play bars.
Yeah.
We'd rather play co-op shows.
Like the energy, the people are just like up in your face. And most of the time it's a lot of people that you're friends with and that you love. So it's just like...
Yeah, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah,
I saw Pine Grove
those are
there.
fun.
One of my favorite bands ever at a co-op. Pine Grove. They're amazing. But some other bands we like to see. We saw Bright Light Social Hour this weekend.
Oh, those guys are good.
Love them.
Where'd you see them?
At Far Out Lounge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How do you like that place?
It was great.
I like
I've
that
never
place.
been there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's nice and open.
Cool.
Great. And then we're good friends with like Flora and Fauna. We like seeing
Oh,
them
yeah.
anytime they play, you know.
Oh, yeah. You did
Yeah.
a video for them, I saw.
Yeah. So we love them. And then like some other great Austin bands. I know Wild Child is from Austin, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah,
I
Sir
saw-
Woman.
Sir Woman's
Sir
from-
Woman.
yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen them
And then
yet.
Nightcap is huge.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Sir Woman's Kelsey's band, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Who was the other one you just said?
Nightcap. They're...
I don't know them.
You should look them up. They're incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have like a
It's hard
weird...
to keep up with everyone.
I know, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Austin bands, but...
Another
There's a
big,
lot.
there is, yeah. Another big favorite for us is White Denim. We love White
Yeah.
Denim.
Oh, yeah.
it's fucking
Those
badass.
guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys have been on
Oh, they
the
have.
show. Yeah, a long
Cool.
time ago. Yeah, I've been doing this for
great.
almost 10 years. I think it was like even in the first year they were on or something like that.
Oh wow,
It's a
cool.
while
I'll
back.
have to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, me too. I wonder what it was even like. So people can find you at tvtempleband.com and connect with you there. Follow you on the social medias. Mm-hmm. Instagram is probably the best. Go check out these singles on Spotify. If you feel adventurous, go to their SoundCloud page and get into the demos. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Well, we have a lot of videos too.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're on Instagram, but we try and tell a story with our videos. So hopefully, hopefully like people can check those out and get the vibe and stuff that brings you into the universe of TV Temple and Beach Alt.
Yeah, Beach
Yeah.
Alt. That's what I love. Have you guys heard of this style of music called daytime disco?
No.
No.
It's a real thing.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got to
bet
check
you I
out
would
Haircut
like that.
100.
And
You got to
Disco.
check out Haircut 100.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pelican West. One of my favorite records. I still listen to. I got it when I was like 14. Still listen to it pretty regularly for
There
an
you
album
go.
that's from then.
That's a mark of a good
That's
record.
not Kiss. Yeah.
No, that's...
Replayability, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
true.
we try and like with our videos too is like we pack them with so much stuff that you could watch it 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
and still see something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You guys also like. Does anybody ever say you guys have a cool look
Yeah.
together?
Thank you.
You really do. Like you both could look really cool individually,
oh yeah.
and you look really cool together.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that's
More
not
of
an
that
easy thing to
contrast.
do.
Would you say it's contrast? There's some contrast there.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say in the socks.
Oh yeah.
You're wearing the
Oh.
striped socks. She's wearing just the low
Solid.
white socks.
There you go.
Guys, it's been great talking to you. These singles and videos, go to tvtempleband.com. Check out the singles. I'm Not Like That. You'll find love and Complainin'. And it's been great talking to you guys. I'm looking forward to hanging out. And I'm sure you'll be on again at some point in the next few months.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
right.
We
Thank
loved it.
you.
It was a lot of fun chatting with you.
Me too.
Bye.
What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm complaining again.
That's Emma Berrigan and Ben Root from the band TV Temple. Find them at tvtempleband.com. Check out their songs, available now wherever it is you stream, and download your jams. The world's first beach alt band, TV Temple. Great talking to those guys, man. They're so cool. And that Emma's a great drummer, man. She is awesome. And she's out there. She's looking for gigs. Anyone needs a badass drummer, she's the person to talk to. That's what I'll tell you right now. Find them at tvtempleband.com. Great talking to them. And also great talking to Jenn Hartmann Luck, man. Check out that song, Kids Can Save Animals. It's really good. Okay? So while you're out there checking out JennHartmannLuck.com or tvtempleband.com, don't forget that you can subscribe to this podcast wherever it is you find podcasts, be it Spotify, TuneIn, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere. New shows, 2 shows a week, sometimes 3 shows a week, sometimes up to 5 shows a week. Who knows what we're doing? We've been around for almost 10 years, and the manager has lost his mind. That's me. All right. Hope you guys have a great, great week, whatever it is you're doing. Let's get down.